It almost feels like we should name an album Fall Out Boy was great until they put this one out.
Oh, why did you let that out? That's the best album.
It was my favorite band until they put this one out, and I hate them now.
Truer words were never.
What was the actual question, though? It's like you have a bigger group of people that are attached to it. So we have diehard fans that were from the very beginning of Fall Out Boy. Then we have diehard fans that are from, say, rock and roll era of Fall Out Boy, who don't really know about the other one. And then we have like casual fans that know songs, and then we have casual fans that like kind of know songs on the radio. So it's like this big group of people, and you can't please all of them clearly. So like you try to make something that's going to be the best version of Fall Out Boy at that particular time, because I think music, like any other art, is so much of like where you were. I was listening to these bands the other day, like we all come from like a punk rock scene or whatever, and I was listening to some of these bands that I was listening to when I was 14, and I was like, some of the music was like kind of not listenable to me now, and so much of it's like about like hitting you at the right moment and where you are in the world.
I think it's probably the least of any of our records that it's the least beholden to any kind of scene or sound. It sounds the most distinctive to me, I think, in a lot of ways. Like it feels the most like in a weird way. I wouldn't say it's the most Fall Out Boy, but it's stripped away of a lot of the affectations of where we were when we started. You know what I mean?
The thing that I love about it as an entry point, and I think it's a great question, is that so I was going to Mad Max with my girlfriend, and she was like, "Do I need to see the other Mad Maxes?" And I'm like, I don't know, you know? And she's like, it's just like basically a movie where they like drive around the desert, right? And I'm like, I don't know. And you didn't need to see any of the other Mad Maxes, but if you had seen the other Mad Maxes, it would have fit into the whole scheme, you know, or whatever. And it felt like he finally made the movie that he wanted to make. And they do kind of just drive around in the desert, but all these other things happen. And I was like, wow, so like you were totally right. And at the same time, it was still like a great, like it has a 98% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, like, it was pretty cool.
You could break down so many movies. Star Wars, they just like hang out in space. I mean, like whatever. Like that's all they do. Like, there's so many. You can break down so many.
But Mad Max, right? They like just.
They go to different planets.
But yeah, and Star Wars.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, like Mad Max. There is no. I mean, even in Road Warrior,
It's
there's
the
like in the
same
beginning, whichever one you come in on, it doesn't matter.
Right, but it's like an amazing movie, and you like it has like all these like little nuances.
It's
but, like,
it's a vibe.
Yeah,
It's just an overall vibe.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and that's
so. I think that like American Beauty, you could go and listen to it as just the album by itself, and you wouldn't be like, how did this thing happen, you know, or whatever. Or if you had known, say, rock and roll, you could do it. The only people who would maybe have a hard time is people who went from evening out with your girlfriend right to
if you're like context is original context.
If they skipped everything in between, it might be a jolt, a bit of a jolt.
The most important thing is just that you cared the whole time. You know, I think that's what our fans. I hope that's what they expect.
From being a fan, I'm like, I want Thriller again, but I just want the feelings of Thriller. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Michael Jackson to make Thriller again, but I want him to make me feel exactly how I felt, or as good as I felt. You know, and it's like, being a fan is like nearly impossible to be a really hardcore fan, because someone asks you to really, really care about something for a certain amount of time and then move on with them and care about something else. You know, it's like really, it's difficult to do, kind of, because sometimes it's like Dylan's like, and now I play electric guitar. It's like, but you told us the whole time you were like the folk guy. You know,
yeah.
It's like, it's the business of being a fan is hard.
Say Rock and Roll felt very kind of all over the place sonically, and the songs were all. It was all about trying to have a caliber of quality, but they didn't really have a commonality in theme or anything like that. And so that was something that I really wanted for American Beauty / American Psycho was the a kind of, I wanted every song to sound like it belonged on the same record. You know, I wanted you could take any 10-second snippet from any other song and know that it was from that record. I think it's cool to make mistakes and make missteps and make records that people don't necessarily get, because that meant you tried and you weren't doing, you weren't just following the script. Because I think when you watch a lot of bands do that, and it's almost as sad as the little guy in whatever bar band being like, yeah, fuck Axl Rose. Like, it's just not, it's just a sad thing.